Yo, Joe Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Today we are looking at Shipwreck from the G.I. Joe Classified series. This is one of my most highly anticipated releases. Shipwreck was, really one of the main characters from Sunbow. And just that sailor look, when I was a kid, I just thought that was a really cool look. He was wearing jeans, I don't know, that made him seem really cool to me. I absolutely love the new packaging. I think this is one of my favorite toy packaging designs of all time. The background image with the submarine and the reference to, I believe that's a reference to one of his old PSAs. It just looks great. You've got the figure on the front. You've still got the awesome artwork, which the pure insanity in that face is fantastic. This is actually the new chat icon for the Audible Interlude podcast chat that we have where we do all of our business. This is it now. It's great. He is number 70. You've got a QR code there that does nothing. It just takes you to Hasbro's site. It's essentially useless. And then on the back, you've got everything that's in the box kind of featured on there. So let's get in there and take a look at Shipwreck. I am very excited about this one. This came, I did my pre-order roulette where I order from Amazon, Big Bad, and Pulse. And Amazon won this one. All right. Interesting, we've got this little cardboard square in here to kind of keep him, I guess to keep his hat on, maybe? Do you think that's literally the only purpose for this, is to keep, because his hat and hairpiece are removable? I wonder if that's the only reason that's in there. I love the background of the trays in the new packaging that feature that artwork. I think that looks great. We've got our footlocker with all the accessories. We'll set that to the side for now. And let's get this guy out of his wonderfully non-plastic tray. While I am ready for windows to come back, I never want the plastic trays that were warping our figures for years to return. Now, I really like this. I already reviewed Rock and Roll that had this same image. I just, something about that black and white artwork, it just looks really cool. I love seeing that behind the figure. I think that's a nice, completely unnecessary touch from Hasbro. I really dig these, and I kept Rock and Roll's tray. It's sitting around here somewhere because I don't, as much as I throw out all the packaging, there's something about those black and white images I just really dig. So, I don't know, maybe I can do something with those. And there he is. There is that salty, swabby Shipwreck. Oh man, just to have him in hand finally, being one of my top 5 most needed characters for Classified. And here he is. Before I move that, I'll show you. You can see the wear on the thighs of his dungarees. There's an old person word for you. Looks fine. I don't think this wear presents as well in person as it did in pictures online, which is unusual because I would say 75% of the time the finished product of any toy looks better than the images that we saw online. Move that holster down on his thigh just a little bit more where it's supposed to be. Oh man. So his belt here is glued into place on this side. So if you wanted to have that sort of Han Solo hang, you just have to kind of pull it down a little bit. And this is all one molded piece. I kind of thought this holster might be on a peg or something, and I'm glad it's not, because I want it to just stay on. I don't want this falling off all the time. Over here, we've got a little hook, the trademark hook to stow his grappling hook. I like his slight frame. He's not big and beefy, and I like that they're giving different body types to these characters. And I mean, somebody that's in the Navy is not likely to be. Look, he's just over 6 inches. He's going to be a little bit smaller than a lot of the figures we've gotten lately, and I love that. He is about the size of 00 Snake Eyes, who's one of the smaller figures in the line. I think that's perfect. Your Navy guys, in general, are going to have a little shorter stature. I think that's perfect. Man, I just love how noticeable it is that he's a little bit smaller guy. I am noticing his shirt has a gloss that is not on his sleeves and his butterfly joints up here. I don't love that. It's not the worst, but it's noticeable. And that's what you'll hear me say a lot. I notice it, but it doesn't necessarily bother me. I feel like I got to point it out, though, because it's again, it's there and it seems avoidable. Match your glosses. It shouldn't be that big a deal. And the elbows, they're not the same color as the surrounding skin, but it's not terrible. It's not the worst I've seen. You know what? I wouldn't mind it. Look at that long neck. He's almost got like a Popeye neck going on there with how long that is. The neck joint is, it does not have the disc in there for the pivot, which I wish they would bring back. I almost wish he had a little bit more of a tan. He seems a little too pale for somebody who's up on the deck of Seacraft out on the ocean all the time. But it's okay. He still looks great. I'm not... These are just things I'm noticing. So far, looking at this figure, there's nothing I see that is an actual problem. Same thing on the knees, though. The knees are obviously a different plastic. They've got a different gloss from the surrounding denim. And you know what? That wear... I'm trying to figure out if the wear on the thighs, if there's a little bit down here on the front as well. It kind of looks like it, but that may just be my lighting. I think it's just my lighting. I think this is the only place we've got actual painted wear. The fabric of the denim looks amazing. They did a really nice job with that. I mean, they look like jeans. And then the seams down the side, we've got the nice thick, jeans seams. And then the interior one, I mean, look, these are sewn just like jeans are. And there's no reason they wouldn't be, but it's the kind of thing toy manufacturers don't always, get right. Look, he's even got the stitching on the pockets on the back. What a great touch that is. Shirt looks great, chest hair. This is one of the things I was curious to see is how far to the side the chest hair could go, because there are just physical limitations when you're putting a tampo like this in of how close you can get to that shirt, because it's his chest hair is not literally this V right here, this inverted triangle. Well, I guess it's not really inverted, is it? This triangle, like it's in theory, it's across his whole entire chest, but you can see there's a line of demarcation where it stops. But they got as close as they could possibly get. And if you're looking at the figure straight on, it looks great. So they did a great job with that. The tattoo is exactly the right amount of faded. It looks like a tattoo and not like somebody drew it on with a Sharpie. I think they did a fantastic job there. This one's a little heavier. The black lines on it are a little darker than I'd like them to be, but it looks great. I dig it. Maybe it's a fresh, or maybe he just got this one freshened up. Like it looks like the color portions of this one are a little bit faded, so maybe he just got the outline redone. That's what I'm going with. And then he's got the insignia here on his sleeve. He looks great, and I'm just loving his size. The size is fantastic. So let's compare him to our original O-ring Shipwreck figure that only has the insignia on the one sleeve, but that's okay. I actually like the blue on the new one a little bit more than the almost too light blue. And you know what I'm noticing that I don't know if I've ever noticed before is the original O-ring, his hat is just a little cocked to one side. I don't know if I've ever really noticed that before. He's got the same gold belt buckle. They've added, the belt here because this never made sense anyway. This hook just coming out of his jeans. What the heck is that? So that this makes sense now as a separate belt piece. He's got the same holster on. He's got there is a slight, they're not as severely bell-bottomed as the original figure, but there is a slight flare at the bottom of his jeans. And then he's got the classified version has some great shoes going on. The footwear looks really, really good. Looks very utilitarian, like what somebody who would be on the deck of an aircraft carrier might be wearing. Love the treads here. He looks awesome. I am very happy with this Shipwreck. Just exactly what I needed. Portrait. That eyebrow cocked up. Got a little bit of a sneer on the face. A lot of personality going on there, and I love the Dixie cup. Just looks awesome. And just like that original, it's just to the side a little bit. All right, let's take a look now at his accessories in his Shipwreck footlocker. These are just fun. I just like having this whole... There's a whole extra opening process when the accessories are packaged separately in this way. I think it's great. And he comes with a pretty decent loadout as far as the parts count. Very happy with what he's got. Wow. Okay. Well, let's first take a look at Polly, Pegleg Polly, who is just a slug, no wings or anything, which is a little disappointing, I'm not going to lie. I would have liked to have an option for a flying Polly, similar to what they did with Spirit. But paint-wise, Polly looks great, and I don't know, it's so small, it's kind of hard for me to get it at the right angle. I think the peg leg is hilarious. I don't have any problem with that at all. I would be interested in knowing the procedure for getting a bird to accept a peg leg, but whatever. It's a really, really nice looking parrot right there. And they kind of figured a way around. Oh, you know what I didn't realize? Okay. So in looking at the I was distracted by the tattoo. I missed this giant hole in his wrist. I'm not a huge fan of that. I wish there had been a way around that, because it just doesn't look good. So that is my only real critique, I think, with the way they executed this Shipwreck. All right, so Polly obviously plugs into that hole perfectly. Looks good. So if you're going to have Polly on his wrist like that, then, as the original figure was, then it's fine. It's not a big deal. But if you don't, he's just got a big honking hole in his wrist that I'm not a fan of. We have interchangeable hair pieces, because we have the one with the traditional Navy hat. That pops right off. Isn't that crazy looking? He's got a real RoboCop type thing going on there, or High Evolutionary from Guardians. So that hair pops into place. Have I got that all the way down? Yeah, he's just got tall hair. Got a real kind of Kenny Loggins thing going on there. Looks great, but I'll be displaying him with that hat on, because that's just the Shipwreck look that I need to have. He's got a rope, sculpted rope, which the point of the sculpted rope is to give Polly an alternate perch, and it does, it looks pretty good on the figure. I wonder what goes on the hook on the back there, or is that just there for fun? Or I guess you could hook the grappling hook to that if you wanted to, but then you've got this hook just empty. So if you want Polly on his shoulder up there, which I do prefer that look, I don't know. I've got some choices to make. The rope looks okay. It's a little thick up here where it sits on his shoulder. Maybe it's not too bad. I don't know. You know what? That probably is reasonable because I'm looking at it in action figure terms and not in reality terms. If you actually had that rope with that wraparound, you know, right here on your shoulder, it probably would sit about that high. So that's me being a little unrealistic with my thoughts about how that goes. It stays in place pretty okay. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm not quite sure how I want to display Shipwreck and Polly. And we've got a grappling hook, which does not match, and I do have the whatever. I know there's a specific name for the thing that the original O-ring Shipwreck came with, and I can't think what it is. Please feel free to tell me in the comments, but this more accurately reflects what Shipwreck had in Sunbow. We are reviewing Revenge of Cobra on Audible Interlude right now, and in 2 different episodes, Shipwreck has had this like pop out, like he pops these portions out. So this is more accurate to Sunbow, and it is a nice shiny silver. Looks great, and just hangs right there on the hook by his leg, so that it can stab him as he runs. I'm torn on this grappling hook because, in theory, it's cooler and more reasonable than whatever the O-ring figure came with. They're called boarding something, I think. And the only reason I've got the little silver piece in the handle for them, but I need a replacement string. So if you guys know a good place to get because it's not just thread, it's a very specific black string. If you guys know a good place to get replacement black thread for O-rings, for Shipwreck's grappling hook, drop it in the comments because I need it. I don't know. I don't love how that looks. Maybe it's not too bad. I realize it would be too much to ask for these to actually fold down like they do in the cartoon, but this just seems a little awkward and unwieldy to me. I'll probably get used to it, though. He has got a sort of standard automatic pistol, no hole in the front for blast effects, but very, very dainty pistol, but it has, if you can see, it's got a lot of stuff engraved on it. I believe this is unique to Shipwreck as of now. And I can't tell if those are nautical design. It looks like this might be an anchor over here. So yeah, I do believe these are like nautical designs, almost like a scrimshaw type of thing on this pistol. And that will fit just fine. Not just fine, better than fine, because so far every classified weapon has fit perfectly into the hand of the figure. But I'm putting that one just in his holster here, where it will also fit perfectly. And then this, the thing that never made any sense, but I absolutely love, his flintlock, just looks great. They did a fantastic job on this. The only thing is oh gosh, there's a specific term for this as well. I don't think it's a lanyard. I think there's a specific term for this coming off of a pistol grip. Again, tell me in the comments. It's not big enough, because the old figure you could actually put it around his wrist. This one you cannot. But still looks great, and you know what? I'm not going to have it hanging around his wrist anyway. That is going in his hand for sure, because that is Shipwreck's signature weapon as far as I'm concerned. Oh, worth noting, wrist articulation has the up and down. So you can kind of have that on his, well, not quite. Doesn't quite make it to the shoulder, the cocky shoulder there, but you've got the up and down articulation on both wrists in this instance. So there he is, our pal Shipwreck. Let's see if I can. If this is how he's going. Oh gosh, you know what they should have. Because he can't have kind of a natural pose with Polly on his forearm. Turn poly around the other way, maybe? No, that's a little weird, huh? I wish there was a rotation. I wish there was a cut joint right here so you could rotate that. Yeah, I'm not totally satisfied with how they designed the wrist mounting for poly. Because there's not, like, he's not going to walk around like this. That's weird. Granted, that's probably what the thumbnail is going to end up looking like. But, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's Shipwreck. Overall, fantastic. There are a few little quibbles, a few little things I might have done differently. But I got to say, he's looking good. I'm thrilled to put him on the shelf. And bring on Tiger Force Shipwreck, right? Yeah! Come back tomorrow for Copperhead. Until then, yo, Joe!
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.